There's people recovering information, as far as evidence goes, and just the course of the investigation. Because again, this is a very fluid investigation going on. So that's just what's going on right now.
Was there a note or anything left behind?
I don't know anything about a note.
McFadden?
Don't know anything like that.
Could you be more detailed about exactly where on the land they were found?
Just on the property, just not in the residence, but just on the property. But that's about as detailed as we can get right now.
Is there any other information you can relay?
Not really, because one, we're not going to say anything. It's going to jeopardize any investigation, and we're just it's going to be very vague on some things, and that's just the nature of what's going on right now.
Have you guys been in communication with loved ones?
They have been.
Can you say how long the bodies were there?
No, I cannot say how long they've been there.
Is the suspect one of the bodies?
I can't say that either. Again, that's the medical examiner's responsibility to identify them.
Is this considered a homicide investigation?
It would be considered a homicide, yes.
Are you able to talk about the search and how you guys ended up with this property?
Well, no, that on the Violent Crimes Task Force, or how?
Just what led your task force to get here to this property to find our victims?
I don't know. I'd have to get the information. I have to get back with you on that. What led them to believe that?
Is this being investigated as a murder-suicide?
I can't comment on that. I don't know. There's 7 individuals who are deceased, and again, the manner and cause of death is up to the medical examiner to decide that.
Can you kind of recap what these 2 teenagers were doing over the weekend and kind of just their activities and how they ended up with McFadden?
No, I can't comment on that. The source of that information would be whoever the agency that submitted the information on the Amber report that went out by the Highway Patrol. They're the ones who have to vet out, missing kids and stuff and decide, do they meet the criteria. So that would really be a question for that agency.
What's OSBI's role in this?
The OSBI's role is simply to assist in the investigation. We have agents out here that do interviews, and also we have agents here that do crime scene investigations. So that's the 2 major roles that the OSBI conducts.
And who would be interviewed in a situation like this?
We don't comment on who we're interviewing.
Can you just speak to the nature of this case and this possible crime? I mean, this is a very heavy situation.
Well, as far as the nature of the case, there's 7 individuals who died here on this property, and that's the nature of the case, to investigate, what happened and, try to identify any perpetrator and just do that. I mean, that's with any investigation such as this.
How would you describe your feelings right now, or even OSBI's, with how grave this all is?
Well, anytime someone loses their life, that's a serious situation. So that's about the best way to describe anybody's role in anything, is to say that it's something where somebody has lost a life.
Has McFadden had any criminal history, or has OSBI been aware of him before?
I couldn't comment on that. I don't know.
Will you be investigating if there was anything leading up to this, if there were any warning signs with McFadden?
Well, no, as far as warning signs, don't know about that. We'll just they'll be looking into every aspect of the investigation that's pertinent to the crime and everything. But as far as the tactics or strategy, couldn't comment on that.
Do we know when more details will be released about the victims?
Well, again, the biggest thing on the victims is, I think what you guys are interested in, are the identities, ages, things like that. So really that information truly comes from the medical examiner.
Okay. Well,
will he be speaking to us at any point?
I have no idea. You'd have to contact the medical examiner on that one.
It's just a little unusual to have this many deceased. And we know McFadden and the 2 teens, but we don't know who the others are in relation to them,
Okay. Well, as far as the relation, I mean, there's a relationship somehow, but as far as discussing who is what relation, that's not going to be discussed right this moment.
Will you be coming forward with any more information about the condition in which these bodies were found?
Well, again, we talk about the condition of the bodies. That's really the medical examiner and their investigation of the individuals.
minute ago you used the word perpetrator, but just to be clear, there's no one else being looked for at this point. There's no nothing outside this land right here that's you're not looking for someone.
Well, okay, I said perpetrator. Maybe I just need to stand corrected on that. Perpetrator or perpetrator, because there's still evidence being processed. So if it leads to anyone else, of course, those will be followed up on. So, not to say there's any more people involved, but just so to answer your question, I'll say perpetrator or perpetrators.
Well, I just want to be clear. There's no
Yes.
threat to the
There's-
public. That's what the sheriff had said earlier.
Yeah, there is no threat to the community as we know it at this time.
What do you think the community of Henrietta needs to know most?
Okay, would you repeat that?
What does the community of Henrietta need to know most at this time from law enforcement concerning all of this?
Well, just like I said, there's no suspect at large that we are looking for right at this moment. So that's the most important thing, is that there's no one else out there that we're looking for at this time. So there's no threat to the community.
Well, after not answering a lot of questions because apparently not able to, that was probably the biggest takeaway right there, Jolene, that they're not looking for anybody else right now.
This is a press conference just outside Henrietta at a property there where 7 bodies were found, we believe, today. You've just heard from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation spokesperson.
And we'll continue to follow.